Today, I invite you to 3 true horror stories that will give you goosebumps and make you lose sleep. Shadows hiding in the darkness, eyes deep in the forest, and the secrets of the abandoned hospital. Get ready, because you will feel the real horror with the stories I will tell you soon. When Lisa returned from work, she noticed something was wrong with her house. He was hearing strange noises inside his house, but he couldn't understand what it was. At first, he thought it was just a noise made by the wind, but over time the sounds became more distinct. One night while he was sleeping in his bedroom, he heard footsteps and whispering voices. When he opened his eyes in fear, he saw a shadow in the darkness. He couldn't move. He tried to scream, but no sound came out. When morning came, he comforted himself by thinking that the whole incident had been a nightmare. However, the same thing started to repeat every night. A week later, her neighbor reported hearing flashing lights and strange noises at her house. When Lisa contacted a paranormal investigator, she learned that a murder had occurred in her home's past, and the spirit was restless. He decided to leave the house, but the voices in the shadows never left him. Mark and his friends decided to go to a forest to camp for the weekend. At first, everything was fine. They were lighting a fire and telling stories. But as the night progressed, they noticed something moving around them. They heard whispering voices and breaking branches. Mark thought the noises were an animal, but the others began to worry. At midnight, when they returned to their tents, Mark saw a pair of bright eyes coming from deep in the forest. Eyes were moving towards them, but nothing was visible. They panicked and locked themselves in their tents and waited until the first light of the morning. When morning came, they found human footprints around them, but there was no one in the forest. Locals said that the forest was once cursed by the spirit of a lost child who wandered among the shadows at night. Mark and his friends never returned to that forest again. Sarah and her friends had heard of an abandoned hospital outside of town. They succumbed to their curiosity and decided to go to the hospital. When they entered, they could hear nothing but the sound of their footsteps echoing through the corridors of the hospital. The old operating theaters and rooms had decayed and collapsed over the years. Suddenly, Sarah heard an old baby cry. He and his friends wandered through the corridors to find the source of the sound. Finally, when they came to a small room, the crying stopped. The room was empty, but there were writings written in blood on the walls. "Do not go." When they tried to go out in panic, the doors began to close and not open. Sarah tried to call for help on her cell phone, but there was no signal. Finally, they managed to escape by jumping out of the window. When they returned to town, locals told them that the hospital was once run by an evil doctor, and his spirit still haunts it. Sarah and her friends decided to never visit abandoned places again.